Disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, or security advice. Always do your own research and consult a professional before making any financial decisions. Crypto investments carry risks, including loss of capital.
All right, wow, get this. Trump, out of nowhere,
Yeah.
just established a U.S. crypto strategic reserve. It's a huge EE move. Really signals that the U.S. is going all in on crypto. It's kind of like, how countries have those oil reserves, but for digital assets, right? So we're going to break down exactly what this means. For you, like, from the market chaos to the future of money, the whole 9 yards.
It's a major shift, that's for sure. It's not just like dipping their toes in the water anymore. This is like the U.S. strategically positioning itself in this whole new financial world.
Okay, so what's in this reserve? Everyone's got to be wondering, like, which cryptocurrencies made the cut?
Well, it's a mix of the big players, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. And they didn't just, pick these randomly. Each one brings something different to the table, really reflects how they dominate different sectors of the crypto market.
Okay, so let's break that down a little. So we got Bitcoin, the OG cryptocurrency, often seen as like a store of value, like digital gold, right?
Exactly. And then you've got Ethereum. That's the platform behind smart contracts and decentralized finance. You can kind of think of it as like the foundation for a whole new financial system.
Oh, wow. And then there's XRP, known for its speed in, cross-border payments, like a super efficient way to move money across borders, maybe even challenge like the traditional systems, right?
Yeah, for sure. And don't forget Solana, kind of a rising star known for its high transaction speed and its ability to just handle a huge amount of transactions.
Okay, that's impressive. And rounding out the list, we got Cardano, focused on security and sustainability, aiming to be like a more environmentally friendly blockchain platform. So it's a diverse portfolio for sure, hitting all the major areas of the crypto world.
Absolutely. And the market reaction to all this, pure frenzy. Imagine, in just 1 hour after the announcement, the total market value of all cryptocurrencies jumped by $100 billion.
$100 billion? That's insane. So how did just this strategic reserve news cause such a massive surge?
Well, when the U.S. government makes a move like this, it sends a really powerful signal to the market. It creates legitimacy, trust. It attracts all those investors that might have been hesitant before. It's like a stamp of approval from the biggest economy in the world.
So it's not just like the U.S. holding crypto. It's the psychological impact on like how investors are feeling.
Yeah, exactly. And that impact, you saw it immediately. Bitcoin's price skyrocketed by over 10%, pushed it past $89,000.
Oh, wow. That's huge. And it wasn't just everyday investors reacting. We saw what they call whale accumulation, these massive investors just scooping up like $4 billion worth of Bitcoin right after the announcement.
That's right. When those big players, the institutions, start making moves like that, it tells everyone else that they believe in crypto.
For a long term.
Right.
And that can create a huge ripple effect, driving even more investment.
So it's like this chain reaction of confidence, starting with the U.S. government and then spreading through the entire market. Exactly. And this confidence wasn't just in prices either. We saw a surge in activity on the networks themselves. Solana, XRP, Cardano, they all experienced record transaction throughputs, processing thousands of transactions per second.
That sounds pretty impressive. But what does it mean for someone new to all this? What is TPS and why does it matter?
TPS stands for transactions per second. And it's a key indicator of how practical a cryptocurrency is in the real world, Think of it like a highway. The higher the TPS, the more cars it can handle without getting jammed up.
Okay, so if a crypto can handle a lot of transactions per second, it's more likely to be used for everyday things like buying a coffee or sending money to a friend.
Yeah, that's the idea. And these record throughputs show that these networks can handle huge spikes in demand, which is really important if crypto is going to go mainstream. I mean, if a cryptocurrency can't process transactions quickly and efficiently, it's not going to be very useful for everyday stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we've got the government backing, the market frenzy, and the networks are proving they can handle it. But what about the institutional players? How'd they react to all this?
Well, one key indicator is the activity on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or CME. They offer Bitcoin futures contracts. These contracts allow investors to bet on, the future price of Bitcoin. And guess what? The CME saw a 14% increase in Bitcoin futures open interest.
Okay, break that down for me. What does open interest mean, and why is a 14% increase a big deal?
Open interest tells you how many futures contracts are active at any given time. So an increase like that usually means a lot of new positions are being taken, often by those institutional investors. It means they're betting Bitcoin's price is going up.
So it's like another vote of confidence from those big players, adding another layer of legitimacy to Bitcoin.
Exactly. And it wasn't just Bitcoin futures. Ethereum options volume, which is kind of like bets on Ethereum's price movements, that exploded by 160%.
Whoa, 160%. Seems like everyone's trying to get a piece of the pie.
Yeah, it definitely does. This huge jump in options volume suggests that investors are getting more bullish on Ethereum. They think it's going to go way up.
So we've got this massive wave of activity. Prices are soaring. Institutions are piling in. And networks are processing transactions like crazy. But there's another part of this we haven't talked about yet, algorithms.
Ah, yes. The silent force behind it all.
Apparently 80% of the trades after the announcement were done by bots. Can you explain what that means?
Sure. Imagine a super fast computer program, right, that can react to market changes like that, buying and selling stuff, based on instructions that someone programmed in. These programs, they're called trading bots. They're designed to capitalize on even tiny price movements.
So these bots were responsible for most of the buying and selling after the news broke.
That's right. And they're so fast they can really amplify market movements, both up and down.
Wild. It's like this whole other layer of complexity.
Yeah, it is. It shows how technology is playing a bigger and bigger role in shaping the financial markets.
But this strategic reserve, it goes way beyond just the crypto market, right? This is a global story.
You're absolutely right. Actually, we saw the U.S. dollar index weaken after the announcement. That's the one that measures the dollar's strength against other currencies. And even more interesting, about $10 billion flowed out of traditional currency markets, Forex it's called, and into crypto.
Okay, so what does that tell us? What's it mean that money's flowing out of those traditional markets and into crypto?
It suggests that this whole thing, this move by the U.S., might be speeding up the trend of de-dollarization.
De-dollarization. That sounds like a pretty big deal. What does that even mean?
Well, for decades, the U.S. dollar has been the currency for international trade and finance, But de-dollarization is what happens when countries and investors start using the dollar less and looking for other options.
So instead of using dollars for trade or holding dollars, they might start using other currencies or even crypto.
Exactly. And this shift away from the dollar could have massive consequences for the whole global financial system.
It's like the balance of power is shifting.
Yeah.
And crypto's part of that.
It's definitely something to think about. And speaking of power, we can't forget about the regulators. They've definitely noticed all this.
Oh, yeah, the regulators. They always have something to say. So what did the SEC and the CFTC have to say about this whole crypto strategic reserve situation?
Well, both agencies made it clear that these crypto assets, even though they're part of a U.S. reserve, are still under their watch. They emphasize that they're still committed to regulating the crypto space, to making sure things are transparent and fair.
So they're basically saying, we're watching you to the whole crypto world.
Pretty much. The SEC, they focus on securities, so they'll be looking at assets that fall under their definition. And the CFTC, they deal with commodities and derivatives. They'll be keeping an eye on things like Bitcoin futures trading.
So even with the U.S. government kind of embracing crypto, the regulations, they're still a work in progress. It sounds like there's a lot of uncertainty about how things are going to play out.
Yeah, there is. And that uncertainty is definitely something to keep in mind as we explore the potential long-term implications of this strategic reserve.
Which is exactly what we're going to do next. We'll be back in just a moment to dive deeper into the potential global impact of all this and what it might mean for you.
It's kind of wild to think just a few years ago, people thought crypto was like a fad, a fringe thing, And now the biggest economy in the world is calling it a strategic asset.
Yeah, it's a pretty big shift. I'm curious, what kind of ripple effects could this have globally? Are other countries watching this and thinking, hey, maybe we should get in on this too?
Oh, absolutely. This move by the U.S. could totally start a domino effect. Some countries, they might just copy it, create their own strategic crypto reserves. Others might feel like they have to adapt, change their policies to stay competitive, right?
So it's a chain reaction. The U.S. makes a move, and suddenly everyone's scrambling to figure out their own crypto strategy.
Yeah, exactly. And at the heart of all this is a really basic question. What is money? I mean, for centuries, we've used paper currencies controlled by governments and central banks. But crypto, It challenges that whole idea. It says, hey, what about decentralized digital money, controlled by algorithms, by a network?
It was like a whole new way of thinking about value and exchange.
Right.
Instead of relying on like one central authority, we're trusting technology, trusting a network of computers.
It's a potential paradigm shift, a whole redefinition of how we see money, how we use it. And this move by the U.S., it could really speed that up.
It's mind-blowing that something that started as like this digital curiosity could actually reshape the entire global financial system.
It is, and it brings up so many questions. Like, how will this change the U.S. dollar? It's been the world's reserve currency for so long. Could we see a world with multiple, like, major currencies, maybe cryptocurrencies mixed in?
Those are some big questions. And I think a lot of people listening are probably wondering, okay, this is all cool, but what does it mean for me?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. The truth is, it's still early. We're in uncharted territory here. But there are a few things to think about.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Well, for one, this could lead to way more people using crypto. As governments and institutions get on board, it could become a lot easier for the average person to use.
So, like, imagine paying for groceries with Bitcoin or sending money overseas instantly with XRP.
Yeah, exactly. It could simplify transactions, make those fees lower, and make financial services more accessible to people who aren't served well by the traditional systems.
That sounds great. But there are downsides too, right? I mean, crypto's known for being volatile. Those price swings can be a wild ride.
That's true. Volatility is definitely something to consider. And if crypto becomes like really intertwined with the economy, that volatility could have a bigger impact.
So that stakes are higher now.
Potentially, yeah. And then there's the whole regulatory thing. Like we talked about, governments are still figuring out how to regulate this space. Too much regulation and could stifle innovation. But too little could put investors and consumers at risk.
It's a tough balance.
It is. But here's where it gets really interesting. This could have some big geopolitical implications.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Think about it. The U.S. dollar has been on top for decades. But as other countries start using crypto more and relying on the dollar less, that could all change.
A power shift on the world stage.
Exactly. And crypto could be right at the center of it. It could reshape international trade, financial flows, even global alliances.
This is way bigger than just like buying and selling Bitcoin, isn't it? It's about like the future of money, how the global financial system evolves, maybe even a more decentralized world.
You got it. And with any new technology like this, there are going to be challenges, things we have to figure out. But the possibilities they're huge.
It's exciting, but kind of scary too. So what advice would you give to someone who's just trying to like make sense of all this?
I'd say be informed, be curious, and stay engaged. Learn about crypto, learn about blockchain, see what the regulations are doing. There's so much info out there, websites, podcasts, online groups, you name it.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Right? Challenge assumptions, think critically.
Exactly. The more you know about this stuff, the better decisions you can make about your own finances. Because this isn't just about governments, it's about how this tech could affect your life.
It's about taking control of your money, understanding what's happening in the world. This is bigger than just money, honestly. Crypto's just one part of it.
It is, you're right. Think about all the other stuff happening right now. AI, biotech, renewable energy is all coming together to create a future that's, well, it's both amazing and kind of scary.
A future where we need to pay attention. We need to be engaged, be a part of it.
Exactly. So stay curious, stay informed, and be open to the possibilities. Because the future is being written right now, and we all have a part in that.
Who knows? Maybe this is the start of something totally new, an era where crypto makes the financial system more inclusive, more transparent, more fair for everyone.
It's a future worth fighting for, and that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon to explore more of these trends and help you understand this crazy world we live in. Until then, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep exploring.
If the U.S. is like really betting on crypto with all its, economic power and everything, what does that tell us about where like global finance is headed? It seems like a pretty big sign that things are changing, maybe even faster than we realize.
Yeah, it definitely suggests that the old ways of doing things that might not work anymore. The whole foundation of global finance, built on those traditional currencies we were talking about, and centralized control. It's all being questioned now. Yeah. So we're at a crossroads. One path takes us back to like the way things have always been, and the other, well, that leads us into the unknown, into a world where crypto is like a major player.
I think that's a great way to put it. And the choices we make now,
Yeah.
individually and as a society, they're going to have huge consequences.
So what can we do? How do we like navigate all this? It feels like so much is happening so fast.
It can be overwhelming, yeah. But I think the first thing is to stay informed. Keep learning about crypto, blockchain, the regulations. There are so many resources out there. Websites, podcasts, online communities, you can really dive deep.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Like, challenge those assumptions. Think for yourself.
Exactly. The more you understand this stuff, the better decisions you can make about your own finances, because this isn't just theoretical, you know, this could affect your life.
Yeah, it's about taking control of your money, understanding how the world's changing around you. This is bigger than just money, really. Crypto's just like one piece of the puzzle.
You're right. Think about all the other stuff happening. AI, biotech, renewable energy. It's all coming together to create a future that's, well, exciting and a little bit scary, honestly.
A future where we need to, like, pay attention. We need to be involved.
Exactly. So stay curious, stay informed, and be open to what might happen, because the future's being written right now, and we all have a role to play.
Who knows? Maybe this is like the beginning of a whole new era, an era where crypto helps to create a financial system that's more inclusive, more transparent, more fair for everyone.
It's a future worth working towards, and that's what makes all this so interesting.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon to explore more of these trends and help you make sense of this crazy world we live in. Until then, keep learning, keep asking those questions, and keep exploring.
If this video helped, hit the like button, subscribe for more crypto content, and I'll see you in the next one.